my stand now until, God, I don't know what time it is, almost 4. Yeah, 10 minutes to 4. It gets dark at 5:20. The wind's been absolutely howling. And last night these deer were in here just right at 5, a little after 5. So I set this lock on up, me and Bub, way back at the end of August. And I've yet to set it before the deer just start coming down this side of the field like they were doing at the end of the year last year. Now they've started, according to my stealth cam. One thing, when I put this stand up, I did not even think about my camera. I'm standing on top of my seat, so I'm going to have to reach up here. Haven't tried it yet. Let's see if I can even reach the camera to turn it on when the deer come in. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but hopefully they come in here right at dark, and the wind's supposed to die at 4:30, 4:45, just right at dark. It's supposed to die, and I don't look for them to move until it does. Right now it's 15 mile an hour gusts and 25, maybe 30 mile an hour. So we're going to give it a shot tonight and see if we can't put something on the ground. just shot one. The only bad thing is I'm very sick. Because bull was coming. I didn't see him until after I shot that one, and it ran across the field. I think it went down right over here in the field, but oh my gosh. I was watching that one with my binoculars to see if it went down, and I seen bull. He was on his way. Good grief, oh well. That happens, I guess. Oh my gosh, the big one was coming. I don't know if he'd have made it here in time for me to shoot him or not. It's right here, last slide, so I'm gonna get everything, go down and see if I can find a little blood and call my buddy. We'll see what we can find. Well, sitting here this morning, waiting on the sun to come up, go look for that buck that I shot last night. Unbelievable. I had a friend of mine that I called that normally I just call him to come help me drag the deer out because he's colorblind and he really can't even see blood, but he literally was leading the way in the timber. The blood was unreal. I mean, you know, that old thing looked like just pouring it out with a 5-gallon bucket. About 30 yards in the timber, found my arrow and tracked him to the neighbor's fence, and then we jumped over and, you know, had that old bladed grass back there, and we were following it pretty good, and it just came to a point there where I said, you know, let's just get out of here. And so I'm back in here this morning waiting on daylight to get in here and see if I can't retrieve him, and got my fingers crossed. Got a lot of coyotes in this area, and hopefully they never found him last night. But here in a little bit we'll go look and see if we can't find this thing. I hate to lose any deer, let alone a decent buck. I'm not sure that he was a giant. It was right at dark. Like I say, the sickening part was that when he ran back out across this field, I seen the big bull that I've been chasing for 3.5 years. He was coming, but I don't know if he'd have made it to me or not before dark. Because like I said, on the video you'll see it looks pretty daylight, but you know, the camera picks up pretty good light. But the sun had set just barely, and obviously it was still shooting hours, but it was pretty dark. So anyway, hoping to find this thing this morning. It got down to 32 last night, so not worried about the meat, just mainly coyotes and finding this thing. So if I don't find him here pretty quick, I've got a friend I can call. It's got 3 dogs and he tracks deer, so I would say if I can't find it, he will, and I'll pay the money gladly to find him. So wish me luck. This right here is the kind of blood I was following last night. Just absolutely pouring. So I'm just can't believe we didn't find it last night. Right now I'm just actually walking in where I've already been. Let's see if I can find this dude. Of course, now I just lost the blood. That's crazy. But I got an arrow sticking out in the field where we gave up last night, so we'll just skip on ahead to that and see what we find. Alright folks, this is the end of the story. I give this buck
the best look I could look to find it. I shot it on the evening of December 27th. Had a massive blood trail for 150 yards, and then the blood just quit, so backed out, left my Luminoc and gold tip arrows sticking there, and came in the next morning, looked around, couldn't find it, and called a guy with some deer dogs to come in, and he did what he could do. He had 2 dogs. We tracked it for probably a 3/4 mile or a mile to a creek, and dog lost it. We walked all the way back and got the second dog he brought, and tracked it basically to the same place. And that dog lost it at the creek. Last night I was at the local convenience store and ran into my buddy that I hunt on the other side of the road, and told me he had ran across this. So I don't like this to happen this way, but it's closure for me. At least I got my hands on him. Well, it's been almost a month now, but he was a little bigger than I thought he was. It was pretty dark, and I couldn't really see the points. I could see that he was fairly wide and see that he was heavy, but I couldn't really make out. It was right there. The sun had just went down, and it was still legal shooting light. As you can see on the video, it was still light, but and then I didn't look real hard. I'd made my mind up I'm going to shoot him, so I was looking behind the shoulder, but end up he was a 10 instead of an 8. But this is him. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm glad to get my hands on him, and hopefully this don't happen to me again. I don't like it to end this way, but sure am glad to know where he's at. Looks like by the teeth, I'd say this deer wasn't probably 3.5 years old. So usually I like him to get a little older, but he's still a dandy. I got my hands on him. Looks like European rack mount for me, but hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, I wished it had turned out a little better than this, but I'm glad to get my hands on him and get closure knowing what happened to him. So alrighty, thank you folks.